On this single day in human history, the impossible became inevitable. May 26th, a date that would reshape civilization itself. In 1969, 3 astronauts hurtled through Earth's atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour, returning from the Moon's doorstep aboard Apollo 10, proving that humanity's greatest dream was within reach. Decades earlier, in 1908, a drill bit struck black gold beneath the Persian Desert, the first major oil discovery in the Middle East, unleashing a force that would topple empires and birth new ones. And in 1927, a single automobile rolled off the assembly line in Detroit for the last time, the final Ford Model T, closing the chapter on the machine that put the world on wheels. 3 moments. 1 day. And nothing would ever be the same. On May 26, 1969, a small charred capsule splashed down in the Pacific Ocean, carrying 3 men who had just traveled closer to the Moon than any human beings in history. Apollo 10 had returned to Earth, and with it came the final proof that humanity was ready to walk on another world. Just 8 days earlier, astronauts Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan had launched from Kennedy Space Center on what would become the ultimate dress rehearsal. Their mission was deceptively simple in description but staggeringly complex in execution: do everything required for a lunar landing, except actually land. Think about the audacity of that moment. Less than a decade earlier, the Soviet Union had put the first human in orbit, and America was scrambling to catch up. President Kennedy's bold declaration that the United States would land a man on the Moon before the decade's end seemed almost impossible. Yet here was Apollo 10, descending to within just 14 kilometers of the lunar surface, close enough to see the boulders and craters that would greet Neil Armstrong weeks later. The crew nicknamed their spacecraft Charlie Brown and Snoopy, a touch of American humor amid the deadly serious business of spaceflight. But make no mistake, this mission tested every system, every procedure, every calculation that would be needed for Apollo 11. The lunar module swooped low over the Sea of Tranquility, photographing the proposed landing site in extraordinary detail while mission controllers on Earth held their breath. Before this moment, humanity had looked up at the Moon for millennia, composing poetry, charting calendars, dreaming impossible dreams. Our ancestors built monuments aligned to its cycles and told stories of gods and goddesses dwelling in its silver light. But no one had ever truly reached out to touch it. Apollo 10 changed everything. When that capsule hit the water and those 3 astronauts emerged safely, the world knew that the Moon was no longer beyond our grasp. The mission proved that human ingenuity, courage, and collaboration could conquer the void of space itself. The speed at which Apollo 10 returned to Earth set a record that still stands today. At nearly 40,000 kilometers per hour, those 3 men became the fastest humans who have ever lived. Today, the legacy of Apollo 10 lives in every satellite that guides your phone, every weather forecast that tracks a hurricane, every image from the James Webb Telescope peering into the origins of the universe. That mission proved we could solve problems of unimaginable complexity when we work together. It showed us that the impossible is simply the not yet achieved. And perhaps most importantly, it reminded every generation since that when humanity dreams boldly enough, we can turn them. On the 26th of May, 1908, in the scorching heat of southwest Persia, a drilling crew on the verge of collapse struck something that would reshape the entire 20th century and beyond. For 7 long years, a British entrepreneur named William Knox Darcy had poured his fortune into a seemingly impossible gamble. The deserts of Persia were unforgiving. Equipment broke down constantly. Workers succumbed to disease and exhaustion. London investors had all but written off the venture as a catastrophic failure. Then, at 4 o'clock in the morning, at a depth of over 1,000 feet, a geyser of black gold erupted from the earth at Masjed Solomon. It was the first major commercial oil discovery in the Middle East. To understand why this moment was so revolutionary, we must remember what the world looked like before it. The global economy ran on coal. The British Empire, the most powerful force on Earth, depended entirely on Welsh coal mines to fuel its mighty navy. Oil existed, of course, primarily in America and Russia, but the Middle East was considered a backwater, a land of ancient ruins and endless sand, certainly not a source of strategic importance. That perception changed overnight. Within a year, the Anglo-Persian Oil Company was formed to exploit this extraordinary find. And just 6 years later, on the eve of the First World War, Winston Churchill made a decision that would alter the course of history. He converted the Royal Navy from coal to oil, and to secure that oil, the British government purchased a controlling stake in the company. The Middle East was no longer a forgotten corner of the map. It had become the most strategically vital region on the planet. The ripples of that single discovery spread across decades. It drew imperial powers into the region, redrew national borders, toppled governments, and sparked conflicts that continue to this day. The company that emerged from that dusty Persian oil field would eventually become British Petroleum, known today simply as BP, one of the largest energy corporations in the world. And what of us, living more than a century later? Every time you fill your car with petrol, every plastic product you touch, every flight you board, every fertilizer that grows your food, traces its origins back to that moment in 1908. The modern world, for better and for worse, was built on oil. And the age of oil began not in Texas or Russia, but in the hills of southwest Persia, when, on May 26, 1927, a quiet revolution came to an end. The last Ford Model T rolled off the assembly line in Highland Park, Michigan, marking the conclusion of a production run that had fundamentally transformed human civilization. 15,007,003 automobiles. Each one a hammer blow against the old world order. But to understand why this moment mattered, we must travel back to the beginning of the 20th century. In 1908, America was a nation of horses. Dirt roads connected small towns where families lived and died within miles of their birthplace. The automobile existed, yes, but it was a plaything of the wealthy, a temperamental luxury that required a chauffeur and a mechanic on permanent standby. Henry Ford saw something different. A son of farmers, he understood that true innovation wasn't about building the finest machine for the few. It was about building a reliable machine for the many. The Model T was deliberately simple. It could be repaired with basic tools by any farmer in any field. Its high clearance conquered the rutted, muddy tracks that passed for roads. And crucially, Ford pioneered the moving assembly line, slashing production time from over 12 hours to just 93 minutes per vehicle. The results were staggering. In 1908, the Model T sold for $850. By the mid-1920s, that price had plummeted to under $300, roughly equivalent to 4 months' wages for the average American worker. For the first time in history, ordinary families could own a personal vehicle. The ripple effects reshaped everything. Rural isolation crumbled as farmers could suddenly reach distant markets. Small towns withered while cities swelled. Paved highways began crisscrossing the landscape. Gas stations, motels, and roadside diners emerged to serve this new mobile population. The very concept of commuting to work was born. By 1927, however, the world had changed. Competitors offered style, comfort, and modern features. The Model T, available famously in any color so long as it was black, had become a symbol of yesterday. Ford shut down production for 6 months to retool entirely, emerging with the Model A. Today, nearly a century later, we live in the world the Model T created. Our suburbs exist because of the automobile. Our global economy runs on highways and logistics networks. The very geography of our cities reflects the assumption that humans travel encased in metal and glass. 15 million Model Ts. One vision of democratic mobility. And so we leave behind 3 moments that shaped everything that followed: astronauts proving we could reach for the moon and make it back safely, a desert discovery that would fuel empires and ignite conflicts for a century, and the final Model T rolling off the line, closing one chapter of transportation while opening countless others. Each of these changed how we live, how we move, how we power our world. So here's a question worth sitting with: which invention do you think truly changed the world most? Was it the car, the fuel, or the rocket? Drop your answer in the comments.